Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to Beacon of Hope. This is your weekly program where we meet here and discuss different issues. And just before we go on, here we are. At Beacon of Hope, we hold discussions every week. I want our people to be empowered. I want our people to be enriched. And we talk to the young at heart, and our topics rotate around young people, finances.
We buy when the market is low, and we sell when the market is high. Simple.
Growing up in the diaspora.
As much as I am grateful the way that my parents raised me, my Shoshogoka's generation raised me, there are certain things I won't carry with me.
Politics, leadership, career, parenting, all sorts of discussions.
And I remember 2010 when you were standing, I was standing. You were standing on in Pala Water.
If you want to invest, you invest in a developing area, not a developed area.
House prices right now, for example, I'll use that as an example, has now overtaken the amount that a normal person who's a normal worker, let's say 132K, can now afford.
Join me, your host, Councillor Dr. Elizabeth BK, from my living room to yours, on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, name it. Just join us, we'll be there, and you'll not miss out a topic that suits you. And each one of us has always got something to share. And Beacon of Hope is always here for you. We are open to all sorts of discussions. As long as we are motivating, we are inspiring, we are teaching, all these discussions are there. And we'll be ready. And that is Beacon of Hope for you. Bringing from my living room to your living room at the comfort of your house on screens. And this is the power of social media. So as we welcome our guest tonight, I would like to ask each one of you to share and welcome. I'm joining you all the way from United Kingdom, London, and we're connecting. This is the power of social media. We're connecting all the way in Nairobi City, the city of design, the assignment, the city in the sun. And I'll be bringing my guest in a bit. Yes, but meanwhile, please continue inviting, continue sharing, because we've got a treat tonight. We've got, my daughter, this lady, she just blew my mind. And I tell you what, this was public demand. I held very many shows, but this one was public demand. And guess what? That topic, I'm also waiting, because I think it's a topic it's a very gray area for me. I'll be very, very happy to learn. And as you continue inviting, welcoming people, please, I like sharing whatever is beneficial for my people in diaspora. When I say my people, I'm talking about the Kenyans in diaspora. And what do I have in this?
Habari wa Kenya. Get fantastic rates with TapTap Send. You can now send money to Kenya at great rates and with zero transfer fees. Send money from the USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, and the Netherlands. Trust TapTap for convenient, safe, and fast transactions to M-Pesa and to Kenyan bank accounts. Download today and get a bonus on your first transfer. TapTap ni ChapChap.
Yes, TapTap ni ChapChap. And for sure, yes, I use TapTap. And this is for those of us in diaspora. I know these are the times when we want to surprise our loved ones, our darlings, our parents, our cousins, and even to support that needy person. You're coming towards the Christmas season. No better way than use of TapTap. And I tell you what, If you use my promo code Liz254, you get a bonus of £10. And imagine 10 times 100. And I think today the pound was 140 something. I mean, and it keeps changing. So if you use my promo code Liz254, you get that discount, that bonus of £10. So just go ahead and use that. And you know what? You will not regret. So are we ready? We are getting there. We're getting there. Because I don't want us to miss tonight. I would like us to really be there. I would like us to make sure that, yes, we are all equipped. And my guest, once again, I did say I'm so excited and I'm looking forward. And I'm saying all this, I'm sharing all these promos and all that so that you get time to share, to invite people. I am doing the same. When you see me look down, I am doing the same because I don't want any of my people to miss out on this. I would like to get as many people logged on. I would like this information to reach out to as many people. And guess what? Power of social media. You don't have to stop what you're doing. It could be on the train, could be driving, could be whatever you're doing. Just get your gadget ready. And there you go. You are good to go. So karibuni sana to our show. This is Beacon of Hope, our Wednesday, not Friday this time, our Wednesday special talk show. And the last time we had this program, the same guests, we had a very, very deep heart-to-heart conversation. Ben, Jim, Kenya, anasema watching from United Kiambu. Yes, that's another UK. My home area, my home county. Karibu sana. Have you shared, Ben? Getting ready for today's powerful session in God's presence. Amen. And I say amen. And somebody else called Narumbe Ekiru says, go, 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 Liz. That sounds like a Turkana name. You know, I stayed in Turkana. Daniel Derry has been waiting patiently. Yes. And, yes, I am there. I'm waiting. And this girl is just loaded. She blew my mind last time. I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, this is not the young girl I knew. And changes. God does wonders. She is doing so well. And I'm just so encouraged. I am in. Yes, I am. And that's why again and again, I'll bring her on. And I'm not just bringing her on. I put a disclaimer here just because she was my student. No, it is because she is packaged. The information she's giving, some of us have never had an opportunity. We do not know this. And so we encourage you to tune in. We encourage you to invite as many people. We invite you to share. Jango Dweras, I see you are there. Karibu sana. And please, 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 guys, continue sharing, continue inviting so that I bring my guest. Lucy Shege. And please, if you are not on Facebook, we have got the link, Beacon of Hope. If you just type Beacon of Hope, Beacon, you will get our Wednesday special program with Senior Sergeant. Did you hear that? Yes, Senior. I have to show off. I have to show off because I have seen this girl from maybe age. What age do they start nursery? Because that's how much I remember. So I know her like the back of my hand. I don't know. She'll tell me whether she received a few kibokos. Obviously, for any teacher, no one escaped. But I don't think she was that bad. She was one of my Girl Guides. She was one of my brownies. So I don't think she did. Well, she must have to be where she is to get that discipline. And karibu sana, my sister Regina Mombi. We've missed you. We've missed you so much. How have you been? Good to see you. I am saying all this so that you people can invite. Because I'm not going to bring my guests until we think we've got enough viewers. I am also doing the same. So that actually by the time she sets off, you just need to make sure that you fasten your seatbelt, ready to go, because she is loaded. She is a package all by herself. And I love what I see. I love what I hear. Oh, I think we are ready. I think we are ready. Thank you so much, my darling Bishop BK, for tuning in. My greatest support system, being there for me. Right, and I'm gonna bring my guests. Oh, you're still sharing. I'm so happy. Yes, I'm so happy about that. I can see people are still sharing. Huh? Ben Kenya, yes, invite Jeff Kush. I don't know where Jeff Kush has been. He's not been for a long time. That's another son. I've missed him. He's not been here for a long time. Regina, my sister, invite those people. Tell them we are here. I haven't seen them. They need to be here. Get them a band. Get them all in here. Anyway, so our topic today, I'll bring my guest because I say it's a gray area for me, but a very, very, very dear topic. And so I've talked about these guests. And people are thinking, what Sasa, bring her. Yes, I needed to hype you. I needed you to get ready. And also I needed you to invite people. I think we've got a good audience. Good evening, my daughter.
Good evening, Mom. How are you?
Very, very well. Senior Sergeant Liz. Woo!
We thank God.
And you know what? Before we start, congratulations. This is the Lord's doing, and I'm really so proud of you, Senior Sergeant.
Yes.
So here we are, another evening, another night. Your time is past 9, and such a sacrifice for you and your people in Kenya. So I don't take this for granted. And all the people tuning in, we welcome you, and I pray that God uses you for the glory of his name to share what God has given you, because what you receive is not for you, it's for you to disseminate, to share to other people. It helps somebody else.
True.
Quickly, would you like to, I know we've got new people, would you like to kindly now introduce yourself? You did it. Introduce yourself tonight. Go ahead. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mom, for this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. This is the second time you're hosting me, and I'm humbled. I'm humbled, Mom. For those who don't know me, for those who weren't there last time, this is for you. This was my English teacher. She was my headmistress when I was in primary school. So for those of you who say I have very nice English, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So my name is Senior Sergeant Liz Njoroge Njau. The last time we were here, apparently, I was a sergeant. The last time we were here, I was a sergeant. So today I'm going to reintroduce myself. I'm Senior Sergeant Liz Njoroge Njau. I work with the National Youth Service in Kenya. I am I'm a mental wellness advocate. I'm an emotional healer. I'm an addiction TOT. And I love serving humanity. And today I'm humbled because after the last session that we had, I figured through the many things that were coming through my inbox that we need to address something that people have chosen to sweep under the carpet. So I want us all to embrace and to talk about something that is very, very crucial, something that has a way of showing itself in whatever things that we do, something that makes us at times behave the way we behave unknowingly, something that empowers us unknowingly, something that makes us make decisions that we make unknowingly. So today I want us to look at something called childhood trauma and how to heal childhood trauma. That is what we want to do today, Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Senior Sergeant Liz. Salute. The uniformed girl here. And when you see her, you'd think I knew her, from when she was a little girl, and I'm so, so happy. And I'm also humbled to be hosting you here tonight. So last time we spoke about mental wellness. So what did we say that meant? What was that? Just a quick recap.
To me, I didn't define it medically. I defined it socially, where it is embracing people who are suffering from mental wellness issues by kicking away stigma, and in comes hope for those people who are suffering from mental wellness issues.
Yes.
Basically, that is what mental wellness is.
Because of all the issues that are happening today and because of all the people looking forward, I would like us to go straight to our today's topic, which to me, I've said it's a gray area, and I would really have got my pen and my notebook ready because same teacher, I don't want to miss out anything. I want to make sure that I'm the first one to receive this information. I want to make sure that if anybody comes to me and needs this support, at least I've got an idea. So introduce our topic today. And once again, welcome to all the viewers. If you're here for the first time, this is Beacon of Hope Beacon. I'm coming to you live from my living room all the way in the United Kingdom, London to be precise. Wherever you are tuned in, kindly share, invite somebody as we get this information. So over to you. Introduce our today's topic, Senior Sergeant Liz.
Thank you so much, madam. Today, I want to introduce childhood trauma. Basically, childhood trauma has a lot of definitions, depending on people, depending on medically, depending on different perspectives. But I'm going to look at it from a very, something that we relate with. So childhood trauma is a scary, dangerous, violent, or life-threatening event that happens to a child who is between the age of 0 to 18 years. That is what childhood trauma is. Now, serious adverse childhood experiences can be classified as psychological trauma. When I mean by serious, they are those events that occur to people when they are small babies, like abandonment. You are abandoned. You are a witness of a murder. You are a witness of a car crash. You are a witness of domestic violence. Maybe your parents were really, really fighting and it got into you. That is childhood trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And it impacts psychologically, physiologically, emotionally, and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the adverse effects of childhood trauma. Now, childhood trauma, most of the times right now, if you talk to people, most of them talk about one very common form of childhood violation. It is called sexual exploitation. It is called sexual abuse. And the impact sexual abuse has on its own on a person, it is very, very adverse. And in most cases, you find that people who are going through childhood trauma are forced to seek therapy that is intense and very deep. But then again, there is hope for those people who are having child trauma issues. Child trauma can only become a problem and is only a problem if it is not attended to. Like we said the last time, any form of pain has to be attended to for it to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So even for childhood trauma, it has to be recognized, it has to be owned, it has to be called out for what it is for you to be able to heal from childhood trauma. Now, Daktari, there is one funny thing about childhood trauma. I
think we're having a bit of issue with her internet. I think her internet is going down. Oh dear, dear, dear. The devil is a liar. I think, yes, there's a bit of an issue with her internet. Oh dear, 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 dear. I'm not too sure whether she knows that she's gone off. It's not from my end because my end is still there. Oh, network, obey, network, obey, network. And we had discussed about this. She had said she's going to try and use her Wi-Fi. I hope she's able to get back soon. Oh dear. This is a very important topic. We all need to hear it. Devil, we warn you, you cannot have this. It's ours. We're going to go on. Shetani ashindwe mfululizo. Oh dear, 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 dear. Are you back?
I'm back. Sorry.
It's your Wi-Fi. What can you do
sorry,
to
I'm
make sure
sorry.
that it's stable?
My internet is it's raining so hard, so my internet is kind of buffing. But I'm sorry. I hope we get to finish this without any issues. Can you hear me, Daktari?
Yes, very clearly now. We lost you, and I was trying to tell people definitely you have you had already mentioned something to do with the internet. So tuendelee, we don't want to miss that because we have reached. We say that is a very, very important
You're
topic.
breaking. I don't know whether you can hear me. Yeah,
I can hear you clearly, guys. Can you hear me?
Okay. Now, as I was saying, childhood.
Oh dear, guys. Hii imekuwa kitu ingine. At Beacon of Hope, we hold discussions every week. I want our people to be empowered. I want our people to be enriched. And we talk to the young at heart, and our topics rotate around young people, finances.
We buy when the market is low and we sell when the market is high. Simple.
Growing up in the diaspora.
As much as I am grateful the way that my parents raised me, my Shoshogoka's generation raised me, there are certain things I won't carry with me.
Politics, leadership, career, parenting, all sorts of discussions.
And I remember 2010 when you were standing, I was standing. You were standing on in Palawater.
If you want to invest, you invest in a developing area, not a developed area.
House prices right now, for example, I'll use that as an example, has now overtaken the amount that a normal person who's a normal worker, let's say 132K, can now afford.
Join me, your host, Councillor Dr. Elizabeth BK, from my living room to yours, on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, name it. Just join us, we'll be there, and you'll not miss out a topic that suits you. And each one of us has always got something to share. And Beacon of Hope is always here for you. We are open to all sorts of discussions. As long as we are motivating, we are inspiring, we are teaching, all these discussions are there. And we'll be ready. Poleni, our sincere apologies. There is heavy rains. I'm told somebody has even put that Kenya has been blessed with rains, and that has been a problem. But I see my guest is back. We have to maximize on every single minute that she comes back. Here we go. We are back.
I'm sorry, my
it's
my
nothing
dear
to
people.
do with you. If it's the even here, it can happen. And if there are heavy rains, okay, let's get from there. You did say, I see somebody who said they are dealing with children who have gone through trauma. These are things that we really need to know. So I got it that sometimes it could be from sexual harassment, could be after witnessing a certain something. Go ahead. I want to learn. I'm also listening.
Yes, we have sexual violations. We have abandonment. Abandonment is where a parent just abandons his children and they carry on. The eldest becomes the parent and they keep bringing each other up, carrying over that trauma cycle over and over until to adulthood. We also have people who suffer trauma because of car accidents, people who witness a shootout, people who have incarcerated family members, like your parent or your relative has been taken to court and they've been incarcerated and they are in jail. So that is also a form of childhood trauma. Because if your parent was jailed when you were a little girl and you keep growing with that, you used to go to see your mom in jail, it gets into your head and starts affecting you mentally. So that is also part of childhood trauma. Now, childhood trauma has a lot of negative effects. Funny enough, but Daktari, I'm going to tell you, childhood trauma has also a part of positive effects. I know people are asking, how is that possible? Just like at times when you suffer, you go through a phase in your life, they say it makes you stronger, it makes you better, and it puts you in an elevated position for you to be able to deal with that situation. Now, many years ago, I'm going to say this. When we were growing up, there are things that used to happen to us that we never knew they are what they are called right now, like childhood sexual abuse. So a relative touches you indecently, but you don't take it like it's something big. But when you grow up and you start refreshing and remembering the things that happened to you, they start affecting you into adulthood. Here I'm talking about myself, and it happened to me. And before I embarked on that journey to heal it, regardless of whether the person went very far away from me, it still had something to do with the kind of life I used to live before. Those are the adverse effects of childhood trauma. And if you don't have someone who can really guide you and hold your hand, traumatic stress might have even a transgenerational effect even to your family. Whereby me, I've had you I don't know whether you've come across people who someone says me, I escaped sexual abuse when I was a little girl. Then the daughter also escapes the same when she's also probably mostly at the same age or near that age. That's a transgenerational effect of childhood trauma. Most of the times it's not really what we are seeing, but it is childhood trauma. But because people don't want to call it out, people carry on projecting their traumas to other people. So you find yourself at work. Like for me, I used to have very, very bad anger issues. I used to have very, very bad. And when I say bad, I mean really bad, because they could get out of control. I want to say here, like my babies, it got to a place and my kids really used to fear me. You're a parent, but your kids are afraid of you.
And this was from a childhood trauma?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Dear. So you are just the right person to be talking about this, because if somebody was telling us through reading books, I even seen somebody else here who has made a comment who said, let me see that comment there. Flora Kaki, when she says, I went through childhood trauma myself, quite a timely subject. Yes. So you are just exactly the right person. It's so timely because, like you say, some people will go through it, but they do not know how to approach it, because again, they would think, some people would think, I don't want to talk about it. It's all gone. But like you say, it could be hurting you inside. And once you speak it up, like you said last time, it's one step to healing. All right, over to you.
Yeah, so what childhood trauma does when it starts affecting you towards adulthood, you start having some very unstable emotions. You start worrying. You begin to have anxiety issues and panic attacks. You feel ashamed, and at times you feel like whatever happened because it was my fault. At times you feel guilty.
You start blaming yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You start blaming yourself. You feel guilty. You become hopeless. To you, nothing really matters. Even life doesn't really matter. So, and that's the reason why you find someone. I'm saying it's not all, but most of the cases of people having addiction and abuse issues when it comes to drugs is because of a trauma that happened in childhood that was not attended to. One thing with childhood trauma is like a septic wound. A septic wound is that wound that has to be attended by the doctor every single time. If you don't do that, it's going to smell. If you don't do that, it's going to ooze. So what people do, the victims or survivors of childhood trauma, they try to cover up the wound. Now, in this case, the wound is childhood trauma. They try to cover it up with so many things. With alcohol, with work, you can become a workaholic, with drugs, with sex, or with even food. Remember the last time I told you people even have eating disorders. It is because of some of them are really related to childhood trauma. And unless you heal whatever hurt you, you will keep bleeding on people who had no idea where it happened or what really happened. And that is one thing I would appreciate if people called out childhood trauma for what it really is. Because childhood trauma, from where I am, from where I'm sitting, it is what is making people behave the way they behave. If you relate closely with them, I remember after we did the last session, I got so many inboxes. They were even overwhelming me. But when you try to find out from someone, when did this start? How did this start? They go back to their childhood. Because childhood trauma is what is making people behave the way they are behaving right now.
Okay.
Childhood trauma is even making parents take their children to trauma recovery centers.
Wow.
Because they can't be able to handle that. Because like mental wellness, childhood trauma has stigma of its own. Because many other times people are gonna blame you. I remember many years ago, people used to blame if a woman was mishandled or raped, it was always on the woman. Oh, you didn't dress nicely. Oh, why did you do what you did? Just like domestic violence. If a woman is beaten by the husband, oh, it is your fault. You're the one who provoked your husband. That is the same thing with childhood trauma. Now, what these statements do to people, they get into them and they start defining them. And there's nothing bad I'm gonna say here today, like empowering something unknowingly. By empowering, I mean whatever pain, whatever trauma that happened to me, as long as I keep referring to it, as long as I keep reference to it in everything I do, I'm giving it power over me. You're giving it power over yourself. Do not give a situation or a pain or a source of anguish power over you. Because the moment it starts to control you, you will not realize when you're getting so deep into pain and so deep into hurting other people. Unfortunately, unlike mental wellness, childhood trauma always ensures it is projected in your adulthood.
Wow.
Yes. Childhood trauma has to show itself somehow into your adulthood. So you either deal with it or it deals with you. That is what I usually tell people. If you don't deal with childhood trauma, it's going to deal with you a good one, and it's not going to be good. Because many times you hear someone saying, this happened to me when I was a little girl. Now I'm here. I blame my parents. I blame my brothers. I blame my sisters. You start feeling like everyone is against you. And they're not against you. They're actually for you. But because you've not acknowledged as a person, this is what I suffered. This is what really happened. You're not even calling it out. Because what happens with childhood trauma when it gets into adulthood, people like to just shove it under the carpet and they're like, see, that happened when I was a little girl. It can't affect me right now. Too bad, because that is a very, very bad way to approach that, because as long as you don't acknowledge it happened, it will keep crawling back to you.
Right.
It will keep finding its way to mess you up.
Right. Can I interject a bit? Now, we're still talking about childhood trauma, and there's some people who are joining now, and I'm getting some inboxes. There's some people who missed that little bit of what is childhood trauma and what causes, because now we are talking of it to project itself into what is that. Just a quick recap, because that's a bit that we lost you when you are trying to say it could be from a broken marriage, it could be from domestic violence, it could be from rape, it could be from a child witnessing murder or something. Just a quick one. I don't want to be the one to say, because you are better equipped, so that people can understand where we are coming from when we talk about childhood trauma, because some of the people here have seen the comments, have gone through this, and they didn't realize that is why they behave the way they behave in their marriages, in their relationships. So go ahead again.
For those who are joining us right now, I'm going to redefine childhood trauma in a language that you can all understand. Childhood trauma is any event, scary event, dangerous event, life-threatening event that occurs or is witnessed by a child who is 0 to 18 years old. Legally, that is our age in Kenya, 0 to 18 years old.
Yes.
Now, serious adverse childhood experiences can be referred to childhood trauma. Domestic violence. You grew up in a home where violence was the order of the day.
Yes.
You grew up in a home where your dad, when they go and drink alcohol, they would come and violate all of you in a line. You grew up in a home where people are used to fighting over every other thing.
Mm-hmm.
You as a child, you're a 3-year-old, you're witnessing your uncles who are older than you fighting with your grandpa and your grandmom. That has a way of getting into you. Childhood trauma could also be sexual violations.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the times when sexual violation occurs in a child, many times, and I'm going to say many times because it's a study that has been carried out, it is carried out by someone who was really meant to protect that child. So unfortunate, but most of the time that is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is supposed to protect a 3-year-old, someone who is supposed to protect a 10-year-old, takes advantage of them sexually and threatens them. If you say this, I'm going to kill you. That statement gets into that child's head. So they will keep violating this child. They will keep making this child keep withdrawing and making this child go through a very traumatic experience. But this child is not, funny enough, people are not able to talk about it when they are young until they are adults.
Mm-hmm.
And when someone speaks about a childhood traumatic event when they are adults, I always tell people I clap for those people because they are ready to hear. It is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Childhood traumatic events and occurrences are the most difficult thing to emotionally heal in someone.
Wow.
Yes, because childhood traumatic events and addiction, they are sisters. They are two sides of the same coin. Because addiction, you can go all the way. Then when you're almost there, you relapse. Childhood trauma, that is what it does, if it's not attended to. And unfortunately, most of us adults, especially my age mates, you are having a discussion somewhere and you are all having an agreement on one thing. Sorry to say this, we are a broken generation that is trying to bring up whole kids, and it's not possible. You gotta go deal with your trauma first for you to be complete, for me to be able to bring up my kids in the best way I know how.
Somebody is asking here in my inbox that can childhood trauma be caused by house helps who
of course
mistreat something?
Of course. A friend of mine, she had an incident actually a few years ago. She has 2 kids. Now the elder girl, the house girl used to really beat up this girl who was around, I should be 9 years by then. Then the young boy was around 3. So the house girl was warming up to the boy so that the boy cannot come and tell the mom what was happening. Sometime later, this girl now, because of being threatened by the house girl and being frustrated, beaten up and down, she started withdrawing. And the mom noticed something is not okay. And she decided, because even her, she had had enough of the entitlement and the attitude that lady has, she needs to go. When she went, the young boy now told the mom, "Mom, you know, auntie used to beat so and so every day. Then she gives me a sweet note to come and tell you."
Oh dear.
Now that becomes a very bad traumatic event for this girl because she has never been able to warm up to house girls, which unfortunately we all need because we need to go to work. We gotta keep working, so we need someone who's gonna take care of kids. I want to say something here, Daktari. Even men, most of them were sexually abused by their house girls when they were small boys.
Absolutely. Yes, that's correct.
And that is also a traumatic event to them. But because society has put it, men are not supposed to suffer. It's like men don't have emotions.
They don't cry.
Suffering. Men are not supposed to cry. And that's what I said last time.
They are not supposed to display their emotions.
Exactly. Men are also human beings. Men
Of
have
course.
emotions too, and men get hurt.
Oh yes, oh yes.
It's not about us women every other time. And that is a stereotype that we need to break. That
Yes.
men are not supposed to cry, men are not supposed to express. Me, I tell me, if you can cry, cry. If you can
Of
scream,
course.
scream. It doesn't
Yes.
matter whether you're a man or not. The baseline is you're a human being and you have emotions and you have feelings. So yes,
Yeah.
whoever is asking whether house girls can cause childhood trauma, they really do it perfectly well, unfortunately.
Oh dear.
So now childhood trauma impacts psychologically, physiologically, and emotionally. Psychologically, it affects the way you think and the way you even reason as a person. You
Yes.
find a person who is 10-year-old is behaving like a 3-year-old because of a traumatic experience that happened to them when they were growing. And like I said, it doesn't matter how old you are. If this traumatic event is not attended to, it's going to have its way into you, whether 10 years later, 100 years later. That's why you find someone and you find someone saying, Liz, you should act your age. People should just choose to be kind.
Yeah, people do say that.
Yeah. People are going to tell you, Liz, why are you behaving like a child? It is because I wasn't given probably the opportunity to behave as a child because I was taking care of my siblings. I was being their mother that time because our mother abandoned us. Our father beat up my mom and our family broke. So I had to stand in for my siblings.
Oh dear.
So childhood trauma steals even years from you as a person.
Yeah.
And these years somehow, because it is life and it's a cycle, you're going to recover these years. And recovering is when you find people acting strange. And that is where mental wellness now comes in because people now start with the stigma of, oh, Uyana, he's behaving like a baby. Uyumtu, he's doing this. Because people have become too judgmental and unkind.
Yes, yes.
People have chosen not to understand and embrace mental wellness as a whole because childhood trauma is part of mental wellness. The reason why I relate so well with childhood trauma and mental wellness is because most of the people I've come across that I'm trying to help and to heal emotionally, they are connected. The events that are happening to them right now in adulthood have something to do with something that happened to them when they are little boys or little girls.
Yeah.
And now it is time for them to just stay put and try to deal with that because if they don't deal with that, it's going to deal with them. Most of them are getting to seek help when it's a bit too late because you have an issue. You had a traumatic occurrence when you were a little girl. You were sexually abused. Fast forward, you've gotten married. All the projections and frustrations that you went through, you project them to your spouse.
Wow.
And you see, the problem with negative energy, it has a way of getting into people.
Yeah, yeah.
I think healing has put me in a place where I can be able even to read energies. If I walk into a room, I can sense when the vibe is okay and when the vibe is not. That is what healing does to you. When you allow yourself to get processed by the whole process, that is what it does to you. It is very beautiful to be in a place of healing, but I also tell people I'm also not there. I'm also going there because there are times also I relapse and I flip, because I'm only human. But we keep going, it's a day at a time. So if childhood trauma is not attended to, it will keep staining. You see, a wound, if I'm cut right now by a knife and I bandage that wound with a height bandage and it's still bleeding, this bandage is going to start staining with the blood. That is what childhood trauma does. It is a wound that is going to keep staining. Your colleagues at work, you can't be able to relate. You can't be able to relate with your spouse. You can't be able to relate even with your family. And just like I said the last time, if you don't heal what hurt you, you're going to bleed on people who have no idea what happened to you.
Oh, yes. Now, pause there. I ask a question.
Please do.
We have discussed about all these causes of childhood trauma, which is very, very healthy. Now, how would I know, or what are some of the signs to to help me identify that this person, I need to understand this person is behaving this way because of childhood trauma. And
Yes.
on top of that, there is question by Ben who is asking, I'll give you all this so that you can digest and see how you handle this. He says there are people whom you find forgiving and forgetting is very hard for them. As I asked in the first question, you find forgiving, for example, their own parents, maybe because of the way they grew, for example, in a domestic violence situation. And this extends even to people in the society or those around them, such that ukikosea huyo mtu, it will be very hard for him or her to heal.
Yes.
So how would you assist such a person asking for a friend? And Helen Thairo has done so well. He has written, if you don't heal what hurt you, to breed on others. I got that and I've been using it somewhere. So this one is very, very about identifying what are some of the signs. How can you look at somebody and know this person? Is it possible to tell that this one is suffering childhood trauma, and that is why this person is presenting or projecting through the kind of behavior?
There are many ways to find to try and establish and understand why someone is behaving the way they are behaving, and you can relate them with childhood trauma. Like now, you notice someone has really withdrawn. A child has chosen not to play with the other kids. They don't want to relate at all. That is one way you can be able to identify someone who has gone through traumatic events. Two, people who have their emotions all over. Remember the last time I told you about a cocktail of emotions? Yes, that is what happens. Yes, that is what happens when you have had an event or an occurrence in childhood that really affected you emotionally.
Yes.
You find out today you are okay. In the next minute, Liz is not even talking to anyone and she was smiling with everyone. That is a red flag. That is something people should try and understand. What changed? What is making Liz to be so emotionally unstable as a person? People who have had sexual abuse and sexual violations. One, if it's a woman, they really despise men. They can despise men, and they can also decide they want to show their power to men by just pissing off men the best way they know how.
Oh my God.
Yes. They can also, people who have gone through, if it's a man who was violated sexually when they were little boys because they were probably sodomized, they become very violent and angry even when they are touched by a fellow man. They can do something that they regret later because now to them, that is their defense mechanism of dealing with such in adulthood. Like I said, most of the people, they don't realize whatever was happening to them as children was traumatic until later in adulthood, when this thing starts replaying itself. So when it comes to men, they become very violent. They become very rigid. They don't even relate with their fellow men if they were abused sexually. Now, if it's a boy who witnessed a domestic violence scenario where the mom was being beaten blue-black by the dad, and the dad was an alcoholic, this man is going to despise alcohol. This man is going to be overly defensive with the wife. A single act that can trigger that, because now we call them triggers. This man can do something that all of us are going to be left wondering, okay, was it even necessary? Because most of the times that's what people ask. I don't know if you've been in a place where someone does something and all of you are left wondering, okay, so where did that even come from? Anytime you find yourself asking that question, when someone does something, it is because it's something.
Wow.
So basically there's the withdrawal, there's anger, there's emotional instability, there's a lot of guilt, there's helplessness. They become hopeless. Even people choose not to care about life. You get to a place, you wonder, why am I even living? And this happened to me when I was a 10-year-old girl. This happened to me when I was an 8-year-old boy. What is the point in living? Unfortunately, when you start that, you start putting yourself in a cocoon. You know, we usually say misery loves company. That is the problem with misery. So childhood trauma in itself is a form of misery.
Oh dear, this thing is really messing us up. Oh dear, dear. Not again, not again. Oh dear, when it's getting to that point where, come on, I understand there's heavy rains in Kenya, guys. Oh, misery loves company. I was just about to type that. I'm sure she's still gonna come back. This must be, we must hear all this. People, let's stick here, let's stick here. Let's cover this with the blood of Jesus. We refuse this interruption. She had already told me, we had already a disclaimer, we had a warning that there is heavy rains in Nairobi, and it's affecting. Oh dear. I'm sorry, guys. This is not my field. This is not my it's not where I can keep you company and start explaining, because let's wait. Yes, Shiro, that's good, encouraging. Let's wait, because I believe this is a very, very good topic. She'll come back. She will come back. Oh dear, Karibu tena. We are not going. People have said they'll wait. They are not going anywhere.
I'm sorry.
Hakuna hata mmoja ametoka, and Thika breaking news is here now. Anasema
I'm sorry. I think this rain was not ready for this conversation, but we keep going.
No, let me tell you, it's when even the devil doesn't like this topic. We need to learn, because some of us are old parents, but we come across this. We could have grandchildren, we could have our children, we could have friends going through this, and we can help somewhere. You know, in these Western countries where we live in, these are areas where they take very, very seriously. We've got, a person designated for that in a school to check on the behavior of their children. And once they notice a slight change in behavior, that child will be taken off. And sometimes we even have children taken away from their parents. If they notice a child appearing in a different kind of, maybe not very happy, not wanting to cope, not wanting to play with the other children, not happy, changes in their behavior. And so we need to understand, because we are here to help parents, we are here to help community leaders, we are here to help ourselves. And how can we learn if you're not told, just like the word of God says? And you are here, you are the preacher of the word. Continue. The last bit was misery loves company.
Yes, it does. So what happens is you find people, I don't know, you see, I'm yet to understand how this happens, but you find people who relate emotionally, get attracted to each other, to keep encouraging each other. All right? And
Birds
this time, you're not, birds of a feather, they really do flock together, apparently. But this time, you're not flocking together to help each other. You want to wallow in that misery. You want to keep guilt-tripping each other. You want to keep encouraging yourself, it's okay. You want to keep being helpless. You want to keep being hopeless. And that's when you can find someone who is very intelligent. They were very good in school. They were very okay. But every single job, this guy does not keep a job. This lady does not keep a job because of something that happened to them when they were growing up. Many other times we say, me as Liz, I'll keep giving my best because I was not given my best, because that is a phrase people use.
Wow.
You see, when you say that, you're not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for Liz. I'm doing it to spite someone who did something to me. You hear someone say, me, I'm going to work hard and make money, and then my uncles are going to know who I am. It is not about your uncle. Watajua mimi ni nani. It is not about them knowing who you are. It is about you doing everything for yourself. I'm going to get to that, but maybe I can try and answer that question Ben has asked about people not being able to forgive or something.
Yes.
Would you kindly repeat the question for me, please?
The question was, it's quite a long one. It says people who finds forgiving and forgetting is very hard for them. That is forgiving their own parents, for example, because of the way they grew up under domestic violence. And sometimes this extends to even other people in the society or those around them, such that ukimkosea mtu huyu kidogo, it becomes very hard to heal. How would you assist such a person?
Now, like I said initially when I was talking about healing your pain, one thing I'm going to say, probably I never said it the last time. You can never forgive until you're fully healed. That is what people should understand.
Mm-hmm.
You can never forgive until you're fully healed.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is the problem with people. People set a timeline for you to heal and forgive.
Uh-huh.
I want to say here today and tonight, there is no timeline for healing.
Yeah.
We heal every day. And you can only forgive when you feel you don't have that burden in you. Now, what happens, because healing takes time, we usually tell people to learn the true meaning of acceptance and letting go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get to that when I'm doing the 7 steps of healing childhood trauma. But then this is what happens. As long as they have not acknowledged their source of pain, they will keep blaming their parents. They'll keep blaming the people who brought them up. They'll keep blaming their relatives. But I want to say here, let us learn to forgive, because forgiveness is not for the other party. Forgiveness is for you as a person, because that is the only time you're going to feel or to become or to own and experience the beauty of redemption. Being redeemed basically means you're not even seeking closure. You're not even praying for those people who hurt you to be hurt 10 times. You're not seeking revenge. You just, okay, like me as Liz, I forgive. I choose to let go and let God, and I choose to heal. Because forgiveness and healing, as long as you then get deeper in both, you will not experience both of them.
Wow.
Just like Christianity, just like religion, just like trusting in God. You know, we trust in God even when we cannot trace him. That is one thing I taught myself. That is the same way with forgiveness. You offer forgiveness even if you cannot really find it as a person. Yes. Because as long as you don't, that's, you know, the problem with people who don't forgive Daktari is one, it's because they are seeking closure.
Yeah.
You want to seek an explanation. Why did this happen? You want to seek a justification. It really was not supposed to happen. And that keeps hurting you unknowingly. Remember, you're now empowering that pain that you feel unknowingly. You're making it control you. But when you choose to heal, when you decide it's over, when you decide, I don't want to carry this burden anymore.
Yeah.
There's just some fulfillment that comes with forgiving. You know, I usually say not all days are going to be good days, but we live anyway, you know? And not everyone is going to love you back, but you keep loving as a person.
Keep loving, yes.
Not everyone is going to spread love, but you keep spreading love. You keep healing.
Yes.
Not because you don't have any other thing to do, but because it is the best thing to do.
Absolutely.
When it comes to healing and forgiveness, that's one journey that you have to take individually as a person. You will not need a therapist to take you there, because many times people say we as helpers, emotional helpers, we force you to forgive people who hurt you. Personally, I'm not in that category of forcing people to forgive. I give you time as a person, because you're the only person who knows how much it hurt you.
Absolutely.
The impact it had on you. You're the only person who can tell. So I'll just tell Ben, tell whoever your friend, tell your friend, forgiveness is for them. It is not for their parents. And many times when you hold on to a barbed wire, it's gonna cut you. You're gonna keep bleeding.
Yes.
But when you let go, you're okay. Many times holding on hurts than letting go. So we choose the latter. You let go, you heal your heart, and you heal your heart as a person. Because at the end of the day, when you allow your heart to heal, it's going to open up a small hole, a small opening for you to allow positivity, for you to allow forgiveness, for you to allow the good things of life to get through. And that way, you can be able to forgive those people who hurt you.
Wow.
Yeah. So about the negative effects. Okay, I said we have positive effects of childhood trauma. That is the beauty of it.
Positive?
Because yes. Because childhood trauma can push you, like it did to me, to increase my personal strength as a person.
Wow.
It gives you an opportunity to grow when you look at it from the positive side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're open-minded, you will not always incline yourself on the negative side of everything. We try and look at a beautiful piece in all the cracks on a wall. It could be a crack on a wall that is very, very ugly, but when you look with an open-minded mind, when you look with an open mind, you see a flower in the crack.
Yeah.
So basically, childhood trauma can give you an opportunity to increase your personal strength. That is one. Two, childhood trauma also gives you or puts you in a place where you appreciate life as it is. And you decide, like me as Liz, whatever it is that I went through, my babies are not going to see anything close to that. My friends are not going to go through what I did. I'm going to keep healing people because I know the effects of childhood trauma. Three, at times it makes you become so emotionally attached to your partners and your family. I'm sorry. Because if you are neglected, because even being abandoned and neglected can also be childhood trauma. If you are neglected, into your adulthood, you choose. Because I said choices have consequences. You choose as a person. For me, I want to get emotionally attached to my family. For me, I want to get emotionally attached to my spouse. I want to get emotionally attached to people because I never got the opportunity when I was growing up. Childhood trauma creates a sense of spirituality.
Wow.
You kind of get drawn to God because with time you realize like the only person who can take away all this pain is Jesus. The only person who can heal my heart, it is God. So it draws you to God. It draws you to spirituality, right? The other thing, childhood trauma can make you change priorities. What I mean by priorities is you can decide the kind of environment I was brought up in. I was brought up in a Russia-Ukraine environment as a person. Missiles were all over, yeah? So you decide I as a person.
Hutus and Tutsis.
Oh, yes. You decide me as a person. I'm not going to be in a place where my family is going to be throwing missiles right, left, and center. You change priorities and decide, and for this to happen, I need to empower myself. I need to work on myself so that I be in a place where I can be able to mitigate any situation close to this to avoid recurrence. So it gives you an opportunity to change your priorities. Childhood trauma gives you life responsibilities.
Wow.
You are brought up or you are probably left under the care of someone who sexually abused you.
Helen
Zairo
should be writing this for us. She was doing so well. I need all those positives. They're so good. I mean, because when you said childhood trauma has got its positives, and I'm thinking positives, I've always seen it as doom and gloom, all the negatives, but I'm getting to see now, brings you closer to God, give you time. Anyway, continue. I don't need to really waste so much time.
It gives you a sense of life responsibilities and possibilities. Because if you are in a situation where someone violated you sexually when you were left under their care, they were supposed to protect you. It instills in you that act or that aspect of being responsible to any little child that is going to be left under your care because you don't want them to go through what you went through. So it gives you a sense of responsibility. It gives you a sense of possibilities. You just look at everything as an opportunity to make life better for other people. That is what childhood trauma does. So those are the few positive the few positive effects of childhood trauma. Now we get to the elephant in the room. The negative effects of childhood trauma. I'm sure people know, the listeners know, and they can type in so many of them because there are so many. But
And some
I'm gonna look at a
is
few.
through experience. Some is go through experience.
Yeah, some is actually most of the people through experience, yes, but also through relation, because you
Yes.
relate with someone who has been through childhood trauma. You see, you can be able to pinpoint a few things. One, it is emotional instability. In the morning at 8, Liz was smiling, Liz was greeting everyone. In the morning at 10, Liz is crying. You ask Liz, why are you crying? I honestly don't know why I'm crying. I don't know if you've met someone like that and you're like, yo, what's going on? I cannot say, I cannot put my finger into what I'm feeling. Emotional instability is one. Two, the fear of recurrence. I have a friend of mine who witnessed one of their relatives being hit by a motorbike. That friend of mine cannot cross the road where there's a motorbike. That friend of mine cannot be on top of a boda. Abebwa na pikipiki, sijui akienda wapi hawezi, afadhali atembee kama hakuna gari. That is the fear of recurrence. Because that is something they have to deal with because they witnessed that traumatic event.
Okay.
Flashbacks. At times you sit like this and something flashes through your mind and you get goosebumps. Yeah. You remember this is how it happened, or you witness something and a flashback comes to your mind because that is what happened that day. That is another thing. The other thing is anger issues. Anger issues are the worst. You become very irritable. Every single thing pisses you off. Even something that doesn't even, something someone can, we tell people, even a fly passing in front of you gets so angry. And it's minding its own business.
Unaona inzi unashindwa kabisa katika jina la Yesu.
Yani you start ranting. People are like, hiya, was it really actually because of the fly or there's something else we don't know? Anger issues is the worst.
From nowhere, and no wonder now that's what I get it when you say that some people now, you project that even to their husbands or to their wives.
Exactly.
Or to places of work, and you start wondering, what have I just done?
Exactly.
Why are you treating me this way?
Exactly. Yeah, you wake up in
karibu sana. Get all those guys in America to join in. Get them to. We really have a very, very good topic here.
You wake up in the morning and someone is not even talking to you. And when you are going to bed last night, you are very good friends. That is emotional instability. Even the sight of people at times irritates you. You wonder, sasa huyu ametoka wapi? Sasa huyu nini inamsumbua? And actually, hata hakuna kitu wamekuambia. They're just passing, they're minding their own business, but it ikes you as a person. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. And apparently, most of the survivors of victims of childhood trauma, some of them end up having a condition we call PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Because it happened, now it is traumatizing you. So it makes you not make sane decisions. You can't be able to control how you feel, what you want. You can't even be able to pinpoint anything. So that is among the many people, the many negative effects of childhood trauma, even sleep disorders.
Wow.
There are people who can't even sleep when it's raining. Because when it rained when they were little kids and their dad came home, it was Ukraine and Russia immediately. So rain to them reminds them of that event. So to them, rain is a trigger. It's a trigger to them. And one thing with childhood traumas, you need to really put a finger in the triggers, those things that makes you behave the way you behave. You become even anxious of things. You're not in a place to really be stable mentally. Childhood trauma, like I said, has a way of affecting your mental stability and your emotional stability. It's a triangle. They relate. So you find yourself, you're anxious over everything, absolutely. Nothing to you. You can't be able even to deliver at work. You can't be able even to do small tasks that are given to you. You start withdrawing yourself to people. Like I said, when you feel that you're going through something, most of the people choose to stay away, isolate themselves from people, which is a very wrong move. I'm going to say here. It is really, really a wrong move. Regardless of whether you're afraid of being stigmatized, you're afraid of being judged, find a way. You can't lack one person in a world with 10 billion people that can listen to you without prejudice, that can really give themselves to you and allow yourself to outpour. Don't decide to isolate. You want to isolate, then you meet me. I isolated myself earlier. I recruit people. We isolate ourselves. Then you decide suicide is the best mission. Boom, we go. We decide alcohol is the best thing for us to forget our misery, for us to forget whatever it is that happened to us. And then you go, you begin, you get initiated, by the time you realize what is it you're doing, you're so deep into that hole, you can't get out of that. So let's allow ourselves to talk. And like I said last time, just be careful whoever it is that you're talking to.
Yeah.
That's it. Some are telling you, I'm going to offer you a shoulder to lean on, but they have a microphone at the back. So as you speak, it is projecting towards that side. So everyone can hear.
It goes on camera, it goes on social media.
Oh, yes. So it's good for us to decide and to choose to deal with childhood trauma as it is, because that is what is making many people do, or many people behave the way they are behaving right now. Someone witnessed their dad drinking so much when they were little boys, and the boy used to see the kind of authority this man commands when he's drunk, the kind of fear he instills in people when he's drunk, and they decide, boom, this is what I'm gonna do when I grow up. You choose to become an alcoholic. You think that you want to be like your dad, so you start intimidating people. You start becoming, you start beating up people, trying to be what you saw your dad be.
Wow.
That is childhood trauma, because it gets that, like I said, it has a way of getting into it has an effect that is transgenerational, so it can get to you and to your son. And that's why I say kids learn through sight, through hearing, and through touch. That is what kids learn from. Because if my husband walks and slaps me, my son is there. My son has seen that. So when my son gets to that age, he's gonna grow up knowing, like, women are supposed to be slapped every other time their husbands get into the house, which is very bad, because you're gonna be bringing up a very bad and broken generation, which is not right. And unless we deal with that trauma, unless us, my generation, we decide and become intentional about dealing with trauma, we're gonna transgenerate it to our kids, which is not good at all. It is not good at all. Yeah.
Wow. Guys, I see somebody called JM Mwangi who is saying he's new here, and I'm telling him he's in the right place and welcome. This is Beacon of Hope. I'm saying this so that I can give my guest a time to have a sip of water. This is Beacon of Hope, our talk show where we bring all sorts of topics, and our topic tonight is on childhood trauma, which is really something very, very new to me. I did say, and I'm really learning a lot. Each one of us tonight here, no one is exempt. You don't have to have gone through this, but you have come across somebody who has, after what we are listening now, I'm sure some of us are flashing back and looking, oh, my colleague at work, no wonder that is how they were behaving. Maybe even somebody who has gone through divorce, somebody who has gone through separation, you look at it and you can see, wow, that was me. That is why it didn't work. That was my husband or my wife. I've seen these children behave like this, So it's very, very timely. It's very, very important, so that if you've gone through that, you know what to do now. You know how to address it, so that it does not go like we are told. It could go from generation to generation. So, and it's very serious. If it goes on like this, there's a healing process that we need to learn. We need to know, what do we do, you know? And one of the things we've already been told is talking about it, but you cannot talk about it until you're healed. So we are talking about how to heal. The healing process, very, very important, because I believe, like you said, there's so much that goes on in life, but unless you understand our relationships, you will always suffer. You find somebody who can never keep a job. Kumbe, it was something that they went through. You find somebody who can never relate with the opposite sex. Kumbe, it's something that they witnessed as they were growing up. You find the marriages are breaking now and then. Kumbe, there was domestic violence as this boy or this girl was growing up. So there's so much that is happening in the world, and we should not let this affect us. No, it's not going to happen at my watch. And that is why in my show, we bring all these kind of topics to help somebody, or for you to learn so that you can help somebody. For example, now we are looking at all these negatives. And I was so happy to know that there are positives also. You know, and Helen hasn't put them. She's putting the negatives. We'll go through the positives, Helen, so that you can put them up for me, that people can learn. Now I've got a student here called Helen Zairo. So then again, there are those who always feel madhogodhanio, like they don't even understand their feelings, always angry, maybe because of the child. Yes, sometimes feeling, that's where we are heading. We are looking at healing, because we did say the first thing first is making sure that you are healed and talking about it, you know, and understanding the cause. It's very, very important, because we look back, some of us, it could even be through the teachers, our teachers. Yes, I'm saying this. I'm sure my daughter here might not say, you know, where the school where I was the head teacher, her school, people used to say that we are spoiling our students, because the relationship used to be very cordial. I could go out and start eating with them, sharing with them, joking with them, playing even banya. Oh, I thought it's going again. Yeah.
No.
When you're open, when you have that cordial relationship, it helps. But some of us, especially our generation, not you, our generation, hey, you saw the teacher, you can even look for a hole to hide. But, you know, so anyway, go ahead. DJ Peacepox Gospel, you are here, you are new here. Yes, this is our show, Beacon of Hope. We meet and we discuss all sorts of topics. And tonight, our topic is on childhood trauma and how to heal, you know, and understanding. So over to you again. Now you've taken a break. Please.
Thank you so much. I'm here trying to wrap my finger about the madhogodhanio that Ben is talking about. I'm gonna come to that. But before I go to healing, there are manifestations of childhood trauma in adults. Because people don't understand why some people do what they do. Now, one of the most affected, or one of the biggest manifestation of childhood trauma is difficulty to interrelate with people.
Wow.
Just like Ben is saying, some people don't even understand themselves. They're feeling madhogodhanio. They don't know how they feel. That is a difficulty in social interactions because of childhood trauma. Now, the other one is health problems related to trauma. When you look at, when we come to the healing steps of childhood trauma, you want to find somewhere that we talk about taking care of your health. This basically means you cannot cope with stress if you're not healthy as a person.
Yeah.
So you suffer from so many health issues that are related to trauma because of whatever happened to you. Now, 3, we have esteem issues. You have self-esteem issues. You're easily intimidated. You're easily pushed over. And that's what translates, especially for those people who've been bullied when they were in school.
Yeah.
If you are a victim of being bullied, your esteem is really, really punctured. So you really need to get into a place that you really need to work on your self-esteem. So most of the childhood trauma events and issues, the traumatic events that took place, they can also puncture your self-esteem.
Wow.
Now, the fourth one is the victim mentality. This is something many people choose to stay there in the victim mentality. Like today, I was reading somewhere today, and someone had requested. I'm gonna put it plainly because they said they have 3 kids, wako kwa mama yao, and they don't know what's wrong with their life. I don't know nini, a lot of it, and people really bashed that lady. But for me, I just told her one thing: it happened, and you cannot change that. You choose to start your journey from there and choose to carve your path differently from where you are. So
Yes.
the victim mentality, most of the people settle in that. They don't want to get that out of that. And most of the times, the victim mentality, quote unquote, is also a comfort zone for childhood trauma survivors and victims. They don't want to get out of that. They just want to stay there because they feel that is where they are. They feel that is what defines them. Me, I'm defined by the fact that I came from a very domestically unstable home. That is what that defines me, and that is who I am. And when I'm talking to people, I usually tell them, get out of that cocoon. Get out of that and focus on making your life better. I mean, rise above the childhood trauma that you went through. Carve your path from where you are and start healing. Now, I think we can go to the healing steps of trauma.
Yes,
there
please.
are so many.
Yes.
There are so
Whatever we
many,
can
but
manage.
most of the times I look at 7 because the 7 really like cover along everything.
Great.
One, the most important one is acknowledge and recognize the trauma really occurred and call it out for what it is. What I basically mean is this: pinpoint, like me, I was raped when I was a small girl. Call it as it is. You know, victims of childhood trauma most of the times spend years minimizing the fact that it even happened.
Yeah.
They want to be in a place where they can dismiss it and ignore it. But when you heal and acknowledge that a traumatic event did occur, that is when your journey begins. Like I said the last time, you don't own something that you don't acknowledge. Dad right now cannot own you if dad does not recognize you, ma'am. If dad does not acknowledge this is my wife, dad cannot own you. So you have to own something, you have to acknowledge it exists for you to recognize it.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so the first one is acknowledge it happened and call it out for what it is.
Yes.
Now we get to 2. 2 is reclaim your control. Once you acknowledge it happened, you start the journey of trying to reclaim your control and to gain back what was taken away from you as a child. It basically means you cannot use the old methods to deal with new challenges that you're encountering right now. You are a child then, you are abused then. We don't dispute that. But you can't use that to deal with your spouse or to work on your marriage. So you need to reclaim your control.
Yes.
Be in charge. Because as long as your past pain is influencing the decisions that you are making right now, it only means it is controlling you. Like I said before, let's stop empowering pain unknowingly. Let's stop giving trauma a lot of power over us unknowingly. So reclaim your control by dropping the pain. Don't allow it to interfere with the decisions that you're making in the present. That is the only way you can reclaim your control. Invent new methods to deal with the current problems that you have as a person. 3, and this is the most crucial one, and most of the people really don't relate well with it, but it is very, very important. Like I said, it is seek help. Do not isolate yourself. Do not isolate yourself, because like I said, misery loves company. You will find people who cannot be able to help you. You will find people who can only tell you to share yourself. They will keep telling you, Aki weye, now what are you going to do? Ama uachane tu. Ama we go and do a path. We go to the tuvute kadogo alafu everything is gonna be okay. Do not isolate yourself. Because funny enough, most of the energy that we need to heal, it lies with people. It lies with people. The big part of the healing process is connecting with other people. That is what I'm trying to say. Connect with other people. And only then are you going to realize, wow, mine is not even an issue. Daktari has a bigger problem than I have. I think we can choose to help Daktari first. So do not isolate yourself as a person who is having childhood trauma issues. Integrate with other people, relate with other people, seek help, because it's only through connections that we get to grow. It's I tell people, when you know more, you become more.
Of course,
When I come and sit under your counsel, whatever it is that you're gonna tell me, I didn't know, I'm gonna go and cascade it to someone else, who's gonna cascade it to another, and the chain is gonna grow. And that is how we draw the healing chain. 4, take care of your health. This is where we all go wrong. Most of the traumatic events that people go through, you, instead of checking on your health, they affect our health. It is your responsibility to take care of your health as a person, because that's the only way you can be able to work and to hold on to. If your heart is not strong, it cannot take all the emotions and the pain that comes with the childhood trauma and everything. So take care of your health, because that is the only way you're gonna stay away from depression, anxiety, stress. Because when you have childhood trauma, then your health is not okay. You become very vulnerable to symptoms of trauma, like depression, projection, anxiety, isolation. Hizo zote, they become part of you. So please take care of your health as a person. Now 5, learn the meaning of acceptance and letting go.
Health,
that is
acceptance and let go.
Letting go.
And I think
Because
that that must be one of the areas that Ben was asking. Very, very difficult.
Exactly.
Because once you accept is when you start forgiving yourself and forgiving others. And I think we've come to a very crucial point, which is really very, very important. And that even calls for, I think, prayers for being, I don't know whether you'd say more religious people would be able to, or it's the same for everybody. Because that is a very, very difficult part, forgiving, and even forgiving yourself and forgiving those people who whatever happened. I think it is a bit difficult thing.
When we say you learn the true meaning of acceptance and letting go, accepting something doesn't mean you're embracing it. Doesn't mean you're quantifying. It doesn't mean you're rubber stamping it happened and it had a right to happen. When it comes to childhood trauma and healing childhood trauma, when I tell you you need to let go, when I tell you you need to accept it happened, I'm only telling you one thing. Yes, I was abused when I was a little girl, but it was not my fault. It was not my undoing. When you accept it was not your undoing, that is the only time you can be able to let go. Now, letting go doesn't mean poof, like it's gone. It doesn't happen magically. Letting go is where technically we call it healing. It is a day at a time. It is a step at a time. No need to rush. And after you're through with the healing, after you're done with the letting go, that is when forgiveness comes in.
Wow. You
can only, and I insist, you can only forgive when you're healed. When you're in a place as a person, you don't want to seek revenge. You're in a place as a person, you don't even want to seek closure. You don't want to seek an explanation. You don't want to know why they did what they did. You let go. Because one thing I have come to learn, when you let go and you let God, God doesn't need whatever it is that fell, whatever it is that went, whatever it is that hurt you. God does not need that to bless you. God is going to use that remained after you let go. That is what God is going to use to bless.
Just as I am.
Exactly. Technically, that is it. That is what God is going to use to heal you.
Yes.
One more thing. When I talk about acceptance and letting go, I don't tell you to erase all the memories of the bad things that happened to you in your childhood. It's only a choice you make. They want to still be there. It happened, I accept, but it's not going to determine the kind of life I'm going to live. I am not defined by whatever happened to me.
Oh, yes.
Remember, I said the last time, you are not your trauma. You're not your pain. You're not whatever it is that happened to you. Instead, you're the courage, you're the success story that crawled out of that dark hole and is standing tall and elevating themselves up there. And they can be able to talk about that. Like I say, if you can stand in a crowd, like I do at times, and you talk about something and you don't cry, you're doing a good job. You're healing as a person.
Wow, wow, wow.
You're healing as a person. As long as you can talk about your pain and not shed tears, you're emotionally doing well for yourself. It's going to be a trigger, but it's going to come out with time. You're going to keep talking about it, share, talk about it. I usually say, feel the pain until the pain becomes lessons to you. Because unless they become lessons, you ain't learning. You ain't healing. Feel the pain, feel it again to the core. When it becomes a lesson, that is when healing begins to take place. So number 6, replace bad habits with good habits. Bad habits take many forms. Bad habits are usually mostly because of negativity, mistrusting others. You turn to alcohol, you turn to drugs. Earlier this year, I took up a very good habit, and I feel it has done some good to me, because I said I'm going to be going to the gym at least 2 hours every day, and it's doing well. You see that energy that you feel at times that you have, because when you're in my place, you can't be able to project. So you go to the gym and project that energy to the treadmill.
Wow, don't say that. Don't say that. Don't get me in trouble. Now, this is the second month my subscription has gone and I've not started. And
Dad.
And I've got two gyms at very close proximity where I can just go before work in the evening. Oh, I have my kit in the car, and every time I decide, I can't.
Procrastinating.
Procrastinating. Bad habits. I'm gonna do something.
So you can choose to do the gym like I did. I told myself also this year I'm going to be buying myself every day a new book. Every month I get a book, I read, I shelf. It's a very good habit. Those are the kind of habits that we call good habits. Because I'm actually reading a book by Viola Davis. It's called Finding Yourself. Finding Yourself, it's a good book. Finding Me, it's a good book. It's the latest book of Viola Davis, and it's about trauma. Actually, it's a book about childhood trauma and how she rose above it. So I'd appreciate if people would go and look for that book. And I've not been paid by Viola Davis. That's
what I was going to ask.
Even know I'm here.
Are you promoting her such that now we can, Beacon of Hope can ask you to pay for that?
That is the disclaimer I'm putting across. I am promoting her. I just love that book. Now, 7, and the last one, and the very most important step is you be patient with yourself.
Patience.
Be patient with yourself, because it is not something that happens. Snap of a finger. It is something that needs time. It is not something that you need to nurture. It's a little baby. We need to breastfeed this baby, to watch it crawl, to watch it sit down, to watch it stand, to watch it talk. It doesn't happen in 1 year. It has no timeline. So be patient with yourself. Keep motivating yourself. Remember the last time I said you empower yourself, because when everything is done, when the dust is settled, it is only you who is going to be there for yourself.
Absolutely.
So you have to empower yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to forgive yourself, because many times we hurt ourselves unknowingly. How many times have you chosen not to stand up for yourself as a person because you felt whatever it is they were doing to you, they had the right to do that? You are in an abusive marriage. You decide, I'm going to stay here until, because I know and I'm hoping they are going to change. Let me tell you something. People only change when they see anything wrong in what they are doing. People cannot change for you. They can only change for themselves. So empower yourself. And I said, you cannot heal in the same place that you are hurt. You have to get out of that place. So if you're getting hurt over and over again in your marriage, over and over again in your place of work, your mental wellness is being messed around with, you cannot grow. You cannot heal in that place. You can't. So you need to get yourself in a place where you're ready to heal, because this is a journey that you have to take. I actually say the hardest walk that we will always take in our lives is the walk that you take alone. Because it is the walk that makes you stronger. It is the walk that makes you more diligent. It's the walk that motivates you. It is the walk that gives you a sense of independence. So healing trauma is a walk that you take individually as a person. I'm going to take you through probably that process and everything and talk to you, but the choice has to come from you. I am ready to rise above this childhood trauma that is really, really holding me back. I am ready to rise above the mediocrity that revolves around domestic violence, alcohol, everything. I'm ready to adopt a new habit that is going to help me grow. The other thing, do not carry the burden of those people who hurt you on your shoulders.
Wow.
Funny enough, the people who hurt us, they move on with their lives.
They do.
14 years ago, someone really messed me up really hard. And I think that is the day I figured I have really bad anger issues. Because I got knocked up, I got pregnant, and the guy decided he doesn't want a baby. Something I've never understood. Why would you do that if you don't want a baby? Anyway, they'll tell us the other time. So I call him and he tells me we meet in town, and he tells me, I don't want a baby now. Here's what you're gonna do. I want you to go and carry out or procure an abortion. That guy was taking Tusker. I'll never forget, because it was in a pub. He was taking Tusker. I took that glass and I hit that guy. And I cut him somewhere over here. And that is when I realized, yes. And that is when I realized, whoa, Liz, you need help. This is not good at all. I remember I called my mom, and my mom told me, just come home. I love that woman to be.
She's my friend.
I love that woman.
I know her. She's my good old friend.
Yes. She's still like a girl. I love that girl. I call her a girl.
There you are.
And my dad.
People go through stuff.
Yes. And my dad, those who are the best people.
You are the best person to share this, because you've gone through this. You're talking through experience. So you called your mom and dad and you told them?
I told them whatever has transpired, because I had told my mom, and my mom is like, just come home. And I developed a very bad attitude towards men. I despised men.
Wow.
I hated men. Let me use that word. It's a very strong word.
It's a very strong
But fast forward, I went to our director of counseling because I was later employed. I went to our director of counseling because even after I gave birth and I even got a job, I still had projection issues. Every man to me was an enemy. I had this brick wall. You know, my friends usually tell me, you know, Liz, there's a time you were saying you are looking for a gun.
to shoot them all.
Yeah, to shoot them all and to be a lady republic. Anyway, fast forward, I figured I'm having projection issues. I can't relate even with my colleagues properly. And I went to our director of counseling. He's an amazing man. And he told me, Liz, seriously, you need help. And I'm not going to help you because I've taught you. Because I used to do all those counseling, HIV, nini. I started when I was a little girl. So he told me, I now want you to put that knowledge at work. And that is how I started my healing journey, Daktari. And that is how I learned that I am a wounded healer. You know those soldiers that go to war, they are beaten blue, black, and they come back and they go back again. That is who I am. I am a wounded healer, and I appreciate it when I heal people, when I help people understand whatever it is that is going on in their lives. I allow people, I give people the space. You just come, pour yourself out, then we figure this out. We see how it's gonna go. So basically, I'm not saying you need to go through childhood trauma for you to be able to talk about it. No. Neither do you need to have gone through a mental wellness disorder for you to be able to talk about mental wellness. No, it doesn't go like that. But some of us decide to use our experiences to let people understand, like there is life after childhood trauma, there is life after pain, and there is life after everything else that worked against you. And I want to tell our beautiful and amazing listeners today, keep working on yourself, empower yourself, love yourself. You know, I was telling a friend of mine yesterday, when you realize how important you are as a person, you become selfish with your emotions, you become selfish with your time, you become selfish with your finances, you become selfish with absolutely everything that relates to you. We call that self-love. And self-love is not selfish. That is what people should understand. It is a choice you make as a person. I want to be there for myself. Yes. And I want to share with them before we finish, like I told myself as Liz, and I want all of you to go telling yourself this. You will never get into war with yourself because of someone, because that is what childhood trauma makes you do. You will never get into war with yourself because of someone. Someone, quote unquote, childhood trauma. Someone, quote unquote, pain. Someone, quote unquote, anxiety. You just will never get into war with yourself because of another person. Because remember, me and me, we are a team. Anxiety is an outsider. If we work together, me and me, we are going to defeat anxiety. We're going to defeat anger. We're going to defeat, pain. We're going to defeat childhood trauma as long as we work together as a team, because God created us to work together as a team. Me, myself, and I, we are a super team. Yeah. And time and healing. One more thing. Time does not heal all wounds. I want to repeat this like I said the last time. It is Jesus who heals all wounds.
Amen.
It is God who heals all wounds. After everything is said and done, without God, without Jesus, it's not going to work. So we need him big time. We need God in every single step of your healing journey of childhood trauma, because he's the only person who can make it work. Now, when you're healing from trauma, it is okay to cancel a commitment. You wake up in the morning, I'm supposed to have this show with Daktari. I can call her and tell her I'm not in a very good place emotionally to hold this show.
Yeah.
It is okay. It is okay to ignore a call. It is okay not to respond to an email. It is okay to change your mind. We were supposed to go somewhere on Saturday. Saturday morning, I decided I don't want to go. I want to sit back and read a book. It is okay also to want to be alone in your healing journey. It's very, very okay. It is also okay to just want nothing. You know, those mornings you wake up, you don't feel like adulting. You just want to go from the bedroom to the kitchen, to the washroom, to the remote. It is okay, as long as it is for your mental wellness.
Yes.
It is also okay to take a day off. A day off from everything. Switch off your phone, do everything for your mental wellness. And above all, it is okay to let go. And also, it is okay not to be okay at times. It happens. Sometimes you wake up, you don't know how you feel. Just like Ben is saying, you feel madongodhanyo. It is okay to feel like that. It's part of healing, because through that, you're about to come into contact with the best version of yourself, and it's gonna be a magical experience. So let us keep healing, let us keep growing, and let us keep glowing, because you glow different when you heal. That's all I can say to you, Dr. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Guys, I did tell you and I warned you, and I said, you know, that's why it's unusual for me to be that quiet. I bombard my guests with questions, but today I had to just sit back and be that person there. And it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to feel madhogodhanio. It's okay to feel that madhogodhanio, Ben. It's okay. Even Jerry Wagaduri is saying it's okay to feel madhogodhanio. You know what, guys? This topic is very, very crucial. It's very, very important for each one of us. And Archbishop says it's okay to be not okay. What a terminology. So it's good to understand all these things, because sometimes, like Liz has said, it can even affect your relationships. It can affect the way you treat your family. It can affect the way you relate with your work colleagues. You know what, guys? We still have not had enough of this. I am sure in a few weeks' time we will come back, because there's still a lot to learn from Senior Sergeant Liz. There is a lot that we are learning. And you know what? I don't have everything myself. You ask me anything to do with politics, I'll be there. But before I go into that politics, I need to understand myself. So, and each one of us, it's okay, Shiro, to be that housing officer, that big housing officer, but it's good to understand yourself before you get there. So this has been powerful. Like my neighbor here, Shiro says, that was a powerful message. Ben says that was a powerful. I feel I need more. Yes, we need more. You see, it's not just me. We need more, because this is our lives. It's really affecting the way we relate. It's ongoing. And thank you ever so much. Guys, I told you, Liz was my student. And I feel I can thank God. You know, I thank God that I can show off with some of the people who I told you I knew Liz from nursery school. I was her primary school head teacher. And I'm really, really so proud of you. And I thank God for your life, because now you are giving back to the community. And I always tell people, giving back does not need necessarily to have that mic in the church. It does not, you don't need to have an audience in the park where you talk to people like politicians do. This is what God has called you to do, and you are doing exactly what I believe God has called you to do, and you are delivering, you are giving back, you are healing people. There is somebody here who I know needed this as much as I needed it, and other people. If not so, these people would have given up. They've been logging in and out, and you know, we've got some who have stuck here. So we need more of this, and I want to thank God for you. May the Lord continue giving you more and more and more and more. May you never lack. As you give, more will be poured to you. The more you give, the more you receive. You know, people
Amen.
use that. People always use that in terms of kupanda begu. You give cash. But this is part of giving. You are giving back, and the more you give, God will continue giving you more. because you will continue researching from the questions and the comments that we are getting from our lovely viewers. So very, very important. I see my sister Ruth here says, it's a very important message since most people don't know what to do when they are in such situations. Excellent. Yes. You see, that's my older sister. And I always call on her when I feel I need some support, I need some guidance. And yes, it's very, very healthy, you know, and like you said, always important to seek help. Edith Michere, my neighbor back in Kenya. Michael, I can see you are there. Good to see you. Beth Winner, prophetess, is good to see you. Daughter, you know, so thank you ever so much. And because of the time that we went off because of the rains in Kenya, which is a blessing, and the Wi-Fi kept cutting. That's why we've gone on and we've been here. Guys, you wouldn't believe that we've been here for almost 2 hours, and it just looks
Allow
like
me to say something.
Go on, go ahead, my dear.
Before we close, there's something I want to tell people right now. One, I want to appreciate them for holding on the space for us, because I can see Helen Thairu. She's an amazing person. Excellent. I really treasure her. She's my friend. I can see Danny. Danny is an amazing guy. He's my friend. I've seen so many of my friends. And one thing I want to tell people, even as you go out there to cascade this information to the people you feel that are gonna need it, always encourage them and let them accept one thing. Let them believe that where they are at that particular place, it is okay. And let them understand one more thing. And I'm also going to tell all of us here, you are enough as a person. You don't need any form of trauma to make you enough, to complete you. You only need a lot of healing. And like I said the last time, the world does not need more billionaires. The world needs more healers. The world needs more restorers. And the world needs more spiritualists. Because healing, trauma, and spirituality are related. They are cut from the same cloth. I want to take this opportunity to thank God for you, Mom and Dad, for giving me this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. There's nothing beautiful like sitting or having a conversation with your mother, who is many worlds away. And I thank God for that. May God keep blessing you. May God bless this ministry, and may God increase this ministry. Amen. For all the people who have chosen to sacrifice their 2 hours of sleep to be here to make this happen, may God give you beautiful dreams tonight as you go to bed. May God bless you and your families. May God restore all of us in our different capacities. Amen. And may God give us the opportunity to serve humanity through healing. Amen. Let us keep healing. I want to thank and say hi to my mom and dad. They're amazing people in my life. My kids, my husband, everyone who makes this possible for me. May God bless them. I promise to keep healing. There's someone who is inboxing me. I can see it on my laptop. They're asking me, Liz, when is the next one? God is going to make time for us. Trust me, we're going to have another one soon. I'm late. I was hoping I'd get, don't worry. It's going to be there soon, don't worry. And I'm sure it's going to be recorded, so it's live. So I'm going to share it out tomorrow.
People can always go back on Facebook, and they can always go back on my YouTube page, but condition, they subscribe so that they get more of this.
Yes. Actually, someone was saying they can't be able to subscribe, so I think you can check it out. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think your tech team can check that. They sent me that we can't be able to subscribe. I almost forgot.
My technical support is they're listening. They'll check why we cannot subscribe, because I've been wondering why it's not growing. People have not been subscribing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're saying they can't be able to subscribe. I didn't understand that. So I think your tech team can check. Ben Jim Kenya, thank you so much for making this possible. And also, I think the last time I shared my contacts, people can get through me at 0720 plus 254 plus 254 720 657715
254 720
657715.
Can you say that again? I need to pin that.
Plus 254 720 657715.
Right, Liz.
Yes. My email address is elizanjao3@gmail.com. I already got someone who's flashed me from the UK. I'll save your number.
Great. Oh, Jenny Wagadhuli, asante sana. You are faster than me. Thank you. Thank you.
I
It's good to
know.
all this support.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
guys, we all need this. Yes, we all need this. So if you go to Beacon of Hope, you could get special program. You could get the Powerhouse Church. We also have Powerhouse Churches here and the Beacon of Hope. So asante sana. I have no words to thank you.
Nashukuru.
So, somebody was telling me you didn't finish giving them a shout out. I think utakuwa na shida. Umesalimia wengine and left out
Ooh-wee.
some. So I think they all feel blessed. They all feel appreciated. It's just like
And I love you all. Love you all. I'm sure they're gonna. Those who have, if you see someone saying they have not given them a shout out, they know where to get me. I know I'm gonna find them in my inbox. I love you. I love you. I love you, and I pray for you. Yes, let us support this kind of work. Let us support it with the best way we know how, and God is gonna bless us. Thank you so much, Mom, and God bless you all so much. It's a beautiful night, and may God replenish all of you. May the God shield you. May God guide you, and may God protect you. I love you guys so much. This is beautiful. I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do this. And Mom, you've made my dream come true. You know, I was telling someone, if right now I'm told, Liz, what is that one thing you've achieved in life? I have achieved sharing mental wellness across nations from my house. Thanks to Dr. Elizabeth Kangebe. I'm humbled. I thank God for you.
Right. And I'm happy Ben is helping us. He says, if you're logging in YouTube from Facebook, sometimes there'll be technical problems. But if you search Beacon of Hope Beacon on YouTube, you'll be able to subscribe. Thank you so much, Ben. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
And everybody says, we love you too. And from me and Archbishop, my darling, we say, we love you, daughter. We love you. May the Lord continue using you for the glory of his name. And I say, this platform is always there, and particularly now that we are healing people, we are helping. I don't just want to be one who will talk about the wealth creation and all that, because that will be useless if we are not healed inside. We need that so that we can be able to move on, so that we can be able to be productive. Yes, it's not just healing. We need to be able to be, supportive and productive when we have already healed. So may the Lord continue using you. We love you so much, daughter. I will communicate, because we need more of this. And who knows?
Gracias.
So God bless you. God bless you. Guys, that has been amazing. Awesome. I don't know about you, but personally, I'll go back and listen to this because it's been awesome. Please, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's help grow this so that anybody, when you share, other people can get this message. Don't keep it to yourself. I don't like it when you keep it to yourself. Share with others. Go to our Facebook page, share, so that other people can get that help. And I really want to give a big shout out to some of our sponsors. And here they are.
Habari wa Kenya. Get fantastic rates with TapTapSend. You can now send money to Kenya at great rates and with zero transfer fees. Send money from the USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, France, Belgium, Spain, and the Netherlands. Trust TapTap for convenient, safe, and fast transactions to M-Pesa and to Kenyan bank accounts. Download today and get a bonus on your first transfer. TapTap ni ChapChap.
I know we are all looking to support families. Ni sikukuu inaingia, and to get a better rate, use my promo code. You can see that there. I am one of the TapTap ambassadors. If you use my promo code LIZ254, you get a bonus of £10 or $10 or €10. Please, if you use that, so please use my promo code and you will get an extra £10 or $10. Thank you guys for always supporting Beacon of Hope. And don't forget, we've got 2 versions of Beacon of Hope. We've got the special one, which comes on Wednesday or Friday. And then we've got My Darling with the family show on Saturday. So please don't miss out. And then we also have on the same platform, we have Powerhouse Church, where we also get nourished, which is very, very important, spiritual nourishment, none other than the Archbishop himself, my darling, Dr. Bishop BK. He does that for us on Sunday. So don't miss out. There is a lot that is happening on this particular platform. And just a quick glimpse of what we do. At Beacon of Hope, we hold discussions every week. I want our people to be empowered. I want our people to be enriched. And we talk to the young at heart, and our topics rotate around young people, finances.
We buy when the market is low and we sell when the market is high. Simple.
Growing up in the diaspora.
As much as I am grateful the way that my parents raised me, my Shoshogo Kaz generation raised me, there are certain things I won't carry with me.
Politics, leadership, career, parenting, all sorts of discussions.
And I remember 2010 when you were standing, I was standing. You were standing on in Palawat.
If you want to invest, you invest in a developing area, not a developed area.
House prices right now, for example, I'll use that as an example, has now overtaken the amount that a normal person who's a normal worker, let's say 132K, can now afford.
Join me, your host, Councillor Dr. Elizabeth BK, from my living room to yours, on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, name it. Just join us, we'll be there, and you'll not miss out a topic that suits you. And each one of us has always got something to share, and Beacon of Hope is always here for you. We are open to all sorts of discussions as long as we are motivating, we are inspiring, we are teaching. All these discussions are there, and we'll be ready. That's it, Beacon of Hope. So watch, it could be any time, because if we get an opportunity, we just pop in quickly and cover that topic. So once again, thank you ever so much for joining us. Keep an eye on this, and I've seen someone say the way to log in on YouTube so that you can subscribe. Have a good night. Those of you who are asleep, I can see my American friends like Jockey Waves Lance. It's still daytime. Canadians, Jeriwaga, I don't know what time it is in Dubai. So wherever you are, know that you are appreciated. We love you. We love you so much. May the Lord bless you, do you good. Shalom, shalom. Keep us in prayers. We love you. God bless you. This is your host, Councillor Dr. Liz BK, all the way from London, UK. God bless you.